Coming to you from a studio somewhere out there. It's Enough Already Radio with Fingers Malloy and Tracy L. Connors.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another Enough Already podcast. I'm Fingers Malloy. Tracy L. Connors is the co-host of this wonderful podcast. Hello, Tracy.
Hello, Fingers.
How's Tracy L. Connors been all week?
Tracy L. Connors has been quite well, thank you very much. How has Fingers T. Malloy been?
Oh, fantastic. I had, right before we decided to record this week, I decided it would be a really good idea to break the diet and stuff my face. I actually shoved my face into a Chicago-style pizza.
And you do this just for the entertainment of our listeners, right?
Yes, of course. I do it for you people out there, so you don't have to. But
you get everybody rooting for you, and you let them down every week.
Hell, I was put on this planet to disappoint. But I'm still down 12 pounds.
Excellent.
So I deserved a treat, Tracy.
Of course.
You know what drives me nuts about people is, I put it out there that I had Chicago-style pizza, and I put a picture of it because I'm one of these assholes that likes to put pictures of his food out there for everyone to see.
Okay. You're one of those that's like, look at my lunch on Instagram.
Right.
If anybody cares. Uh-huh.
Right, exactly. So when you put a picture of Chicago-style pizza out there, everyone has to come out of the woodwork to comment on it being a casserole or it's not real pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And it's maddening. It's like these people get royalties for defending pizza. You know, every time someone puts it, oh, look at this slice of New York pizza I got. Oh, that's not real pizza. Chicago style is the best. Or, oh my gosh, look at that casserole you're eating. Chicago style pizza sucks. New York's is the best. And it's like, oh my gosh. It's all good.
Yeah, I've never understood that whole deal where everybody must share the same opinion.
Right.
As if you having a different opinion somehow affects them.
Well, it's like the Hatfields and the McCoys. Why do I have to take sides? Why can't I just enjoy a Chicago-style pizza? There's a chain here that originated in Chicago. They make a good pie. And when I go to New York, I'll have a piece of pizza. I'll fold it in half like the New Yorkers do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll eat it, and that's nice. But at the end of the day, it's dough and sauce. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. People have their identities wrapped up in such things.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
And as everyone knows, the best pizza you can get's in New Jersey anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even in New York.
It's true. It's like the best Philly cheesesteaks are to be found in Jersey as well.
Yeah, see? No, there's Detroit-style pizza. They use a special pan in Detroit that's different. It's kind of like half deep dish. They don't put the sauce on top, but it's like a thick crust pizza. It's pretty good. I've been to California. California pizza's pretty good, as long as you don't go too heavy on the vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Jesus Christ. You talk to some New Yorkers and they act as though on the seventh day. I don't want to get into it, but you know what I mean. On the third day, Jesus rose and moved to Brooklyn and opened a pizzeria. You know, I don't know. You're from the East Coast.
Mm-hmm. I've never been involved in the pizza wars, though. I've somehow managed to steer clear.
Wow.
But I could get the Italians that I know involved in this. Because I will tell you, I've been to Italy and their pizza is a lot different.
What's different about it?
Oh, it's way of a thinner crust.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. They would think that New York style is kind of thick. And then they are going to put fresh ingredients on it. So you might get the tomato sauce and then chunks of mozzarella instead of this nice melted consistency across the whole top.
Mm.
And then you're going to get basil leaves potentially and such things It's actually quite lovely. It's all very fresh.
It's amazing how greasy pizza in New York can be.
Yeah, you have to dab it with the napkin.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
Yes.
Last time I was in New York, before I left, I had 2 hours to kill. I just walked down Fifth Avenue and grabbed a slice of pizza at a pizzeria. It was something like two slices of pepperoni pizza and a can of Coke for $5.
Wow.
You can't beat that.
No, it's a pretty cheap thing to make.
Yeah. The Chicago style pizza is ridiculously expensive.
Well, that's because it's a damn lot of ingredients.
Right.
Like you said, it's a casserole.
Yeah. But I had 2 pieces that
Oh,
were
Lord.
small.
How much is it? Small, so they only weighed a half a pound apiece?
Right. And it filled me up.
Sure.
But a small pie at this place was $21. Right?
Oh, we have a fairly decent chain here that doesn't make Chicago style. It's more East Coast style. And I think that's the price of a large pie there without any toppings.
Well.
It's insane. It's good pizza. Brick oven, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's
Wood
the
fire.
key. Yeah, wood fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, they're trying to ban those wood fire pizza ovens in California.
Of course.
But no, I have a family that is actually they're probably just leaving Philadelphia today. One person texted me and said, "Well, where's the best place to get a cheesesteak?" And I told him Jim's.
There you go.
It's the best. Have to
Do they
agree.
listen?
Have to agree with Tracy L. Connors on that. But our good friend Sarah Smith will fight you to the death on that. She says Ishkabibbles is the best.
Ishkabibbles is pretty good. And the I don't know what the name of the place is at the Reading Terminal Market, which I don't know, remember if you went there or not. But if you're ever in Philadelphia, I would definitely recommend checking out the Reading Terminal Market. It's about a square block that used to be the end of the Reading Railroad, which those of you who are familiar with Monopoly will recognize. And it's just now basically all food stalls. And you can anything you could imagine. Every kind of ethnic food. And then you can also shop. They've got produce and meat counters and all this stuff. But there's a cheesesteak joint in there that people are quite fond of.
It makes me sad. I never made it over there.
Well, someday. It's all about what cheese they're using. And how they deal with how the meat's cut up and such like this. And I think Jim's mixes the cheese with the meat as opposed to Geno's and Pat's where they just throw meat on a roll and then cover it in Cheese Whiz.
I'm a provolone guy.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Not a big fan of the Cheese Whiz.
No.
But I've only been to 3 cheesesteak places in Philly. I went to Jim's, and then I headed over. You know, as a tourist, you've got to check out Pat and Geno's. And Pat and Geno's they were fine.
Yeah.
But I think Jim's is a cut above. I have to say, I haven't been to Ishkabibbles. Sarah Smith tried to drag me to Ishkabibbles, but at some point, you get cheese staked out.
Oh, I didn't know that was possible.
Well, I got I drove into Philly, and we all walked over to Pat and Geno's. So I had a full cheesesteak at Pat's, and then I walked across the street and had a full cheesesteak at Geno's. And then
Wit Whiz?
Huh?
Wit Whiz.
Yes.
That's how you're supposed to order it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had both of them with the wit.
Wit.
And then next to, I believe it's Geno's, there is a cannoli place.
Yes.
So after you eat 2 full-size Philly cheesesteaks, you got to get a cannoli. So I got a cannoli. And after that, I don't think I ate for 36 hours.
It's probably a good call.
But then we went to that Sugar Hill Casino. Is that what it's called?
Yes. Sugar House.
Sugar House.
No, it's not the Sugar Hill Gang.
And I finally got hungry Sunday night, and they had a Geno's there. I believe it was a Geno's. It was either Pat or Geno's, one of the two. So I had one more cheesesteak. So that's your cheesesteak talk
Excellent.
for today. Do you ever get sick of it?
Cheesesteaks?
Yeah.
I rarely have them.
Wow.
So, and then doing a keto diet, I had 2 buckets of cheesesteak meat the last time I went to the shore, to my favorite cheesesteak place. I just said, hold the rolls, give me the meats.
Do they give you the stink eye when you do that?
No, they don't care. But they charge me the same, which kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And their cheesesteaks ain't cheap. So it's just like 2 buckets of meat for $40. Good Lord. But it was dinner for 4 days, so.
And the thing is with a cheesesteak, you don't put lettuce on it, so they can't really make you a salad.
No.
Right?
No, I didn't turn them into a salad. I could have, but just a plate of meat covered in cheese.
Good for you. Oh, that must have been good.
It was really delicious.
Now I have to get a cheesesteak. We got one decent place in Indianapolis that makes a cheesesteak, but it's a chain too. There are 2 that are actually decent. One's called Penn Station, which is a chain, and another one is Jersey Mike's. They make a decent Philly cheesesteak, but nothing compared to Jim's. Jim's is fantastic. But I can't do that. I got to go back to low carb tomorrow.
Well, you could get it without the roll.
That won't fill me up, though. I'm a growing boy. I'm 6'3", 270.
Good for you.
Yeah. I need more than just a little bit of meat from a sandwich. I need the bread.
I know, you're more than 2 of me.
Right?
Yes. It's a little scary.
Oh. So, yeah. Chicago. So I was in a food coma before we decided to record. And you were pulling an all-nighter partying, so.
Yes. That's exactly what I was doing.
So I guess there's stuff to talk about.
Of course.
There are always things to talk about, but
yes. In this age, every day, there are multiple things to talk about.
So I didn't catch much of the summit.
Yeah, neither did I.
I did see a photo floating around. Did you see the photo?
Yeah, so where everybody looks like they're bowing, Trump's sitting down and they're all kind of imploring him. It looks like.
So.
It's very Kiss the Ring-esque.
Yeah. But and I'm sure that's going to catch fire. It probably already has caught fire as a meme.
Yes.
Have you seen any examples?
Not yet, but it's a wonderful picture. I really enjoy it. I did see a meme. Somebody cut it up and put it into the Last Supper. So Trump's sitting when you're looking at the painting, he's on the right of Jesus, but if you flip it around, he's sitting to Jesus' left hand and Merkel's on the right hand imploring him.
So that was
funny.
The G7. That's the G7 summit.
Yep.
And now the president has headed to Singapore, right?
Yes, I believe he's already landed.
Oh, wow. And in your travels, have you been to Singapore?
No.
You're a world traveler.
I know. I've not been to anywhere in Asia. I would like to go. I had a friend of mine that spent, I think, 6 months there teaching English. And it's supposed to be quite nice, but I don't know if I could handle it there. They're very, very strict.
Well, there was that big brouhaha back in the 90s about someone. I can't remember what he did, but they were going to cane him.
Oh, they did cane him.
They did cane him?
Yep.
My memory sucks. What did he do? He recorded baseball without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. I can't remember what he did.
Oh, I don't remember either. I just remember hearing you can't chew gum.
What?
There? Mm-hmm.
They're afraid you're going to spit it out on the street and make a mess? Is that what it is?
I don't know, and I have to Google that to make sure that I'm not just making that up and that's not some urban legend. no gum chewing. I did find, thanks to Wikipedia, Michael P. Fay was the United States citizen who was the subject of an international attention in 1994 when he was sentenced to 6 strokes of the cane in Singapore for theft and vandalism, age 18. Yes. So his case is believed to be the first caning involving an American citizen. It was ultimately reduced from 6 to 4 after, I guess.
Diplomacy.
I feel like, yeah, Clinton got involved. He must have. But that's interesting. I don't know why it is that Americans go abroad and vandalize crap. So if you remember, poor Otto Warmbier, that's what he was doing. I think that's what he was charged with. He was stealing posters or something.
Well,
Not a good idea.
They act like they're in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Do whatever the hell they want to. It's like, no, you're not in Philadelphia anymore. Bring out the cane.
Right. It's pretty rough. Yep. Gum chewing ban in Singapore. Since there's a ban on importing chewing gum since 2004, only chewing gum of therapeutic value. I don't know what that means. Does that mean quit smoking gum?
You need a prescription for gum.
Yeah, the exception is made for dental or nicotine gum. Gum can be bought from a doctor, but must be prescribed in Singapore.
I would love to know the reasoning.
Well, it says the history of this. So in his memoirs, Lee Kuan Yew recounted it as early. I don't know who he is. So by the way, he was prime minister as early as 1983. That a proposal for the ban on chewing gum was brought up to him by the then Minister of National Development, because chewing gum was causing serious maintenance problems in high-rise public housing apartments, with vandals disposing of spent gum in mailboxes, inside keyholes, and even on lift buttons. Lifts are elevators.
Elevators, yeah.
For those of you Americans that listen to us. So chewing gum left on the ground, stairways, and pavements in public areas increased the cost of cleaning and damaged cleaning equipment. So no more of that.
Banned.
Yep. No, they're pretty serious over there. They don't mess around.
What about taffy? Can you have taffy in Singapore?
I don't know. I guess so. I mean, taffy's not something that people leave around, stuck to the bottom of things or shoved into keyholes. I wonder, silly putty, though, might be an issue.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Can you imagine?
No.
If you got off a plane, what if I gotta believe that Donald Trump likes to chew gum.
I don't know. I've never seen him chewing gum.
Looks like he'd be a gum chewer.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to stop the president of the United States from chewing gum.
I think if I were the president of the United States, the first thing I would do is bring some Hubba Bubba with me.
I was thinking Big League Chew.
Yeah, Big League Chew, and then blow a big bubble.
I don't know if you could be that rude to the guests that are hosting this most important of summits.
Oh. So that's happening. When do President Trump and Kim Jong-un officially meet?
The summit is scheduled for the 12th. So I don't know if they will be meeting beforehand.
Okay, so I'm Googling Kim Jong-un.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing that comes up is Kim Jong-un's wife.
Oh.
Is she hot?
I don't know.
Rai Solju.
Sure.
Why would people be Googling his wife?
I'm guessing that's the women that are looking into this. And potentially the men.
She's a nice-looking woman.
Oh, there you go. So according to the Washington Post, they're going to meet face-to-face on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m.
Kim and his wife? You think they would have met a long time ago?
No, Trump and Kim.
Oh, okay. Now, would it create an international incident if Kim Jong-un's wife were chewing gum?
Ooh.
In Singapore?
I don't know. Do they have gum in North Korea?
I don't think they have really anything you could chew in North Korea.
dirt flavored gum.
Oh,
But I wonder. I don't know. Did Melania go with him?
Oh, I
Because
don't know.
there's been quite the scandal about where's Melania.
Yeah, the left has gone absolutely nuts. I was seeing theories tweeted out there that, well, of course, President Trump beat his wife.
Yes. So she's recovering.
Yeah, I saw one tweet, and you may have sent it to me. I don't remember. People send me stuff, Tracy.
Yes.
And the theory was that Melania Trump's poll numbers are higher than Donald. So he's jealous, and he beat the shit out of her.
Of course.
And that's why we haven't seen her. It couldn't be that she had emergency surgery.
Yeah, that we all knew about.
That I couldn't be that.
No.
And the thing is, too, and this is the male chauvinist pig in me, and I could be totally off base. But when you marry a model like Melania Trump, there's a good possibility that it'll take her a little bit longer to feel comfortable being seen in public after something like that, because models are usually really image conscious. Jesus Christ. So where, a first lady like Nancy Reagan, who's in her 60s, or Barbara Bush or Hillary Clinton, may feel much more comfortable being seen 3 or 4 days after leaving the hospital. Maybe Melania is sitting back saying, I don't feel like I look healthy like I did before I went into the hospital. I'm going to stay out of the public eye for a little bit longer.
And hey, she also might have been recovering.
Well, there's that too. Well, people aren't used to a surgery like that taking very long, even though we really don't know what. It was just a kidney procedure. Mm-hmm. Who the hell knows what was going on in there?
Right.
I mean, she had a bad kidney, and then on top of that, apparently Donald Trump kicked the shit out of her.
Of course. But it reminded me of another story that I had only heard recently, I believe, for the first time. Well, recently being 2 years ago, because when I Googled it. So there was a book that came out written by a former Secret Service agent who worked during the Clinton years. So he recounts a time. His book was called Crisis of Character. And he claimed to, and I'm reading from the Telegraph article, he claimed to have, quote, personally observed President Bill Clinton's infidelities. And on one occasion in 1995, he heard Mrs. Clinton's, quote, booming voice from the White House living quarters as the couple argued. Later, a glass vase was found smashed on the floor, and President Clinton had to, quote, put a stake on it. Had to put a, quote, stake on it, this black eye, the next day. So he was asked about this at I think he went in front of the White House press corps, Clinton. Mm-hmm. Or his press secretary was asked about it, and she said he had allergies because I think he was walking around wearing sunglasses. So she gave him a black eye.
Well, it's amazing that this
Allegedly.
allergy happened only once for about a week and a half in his entire public life. That'll happen. You know what he's apparently allergic to a right cross. Who knew?
Oh, yeah, I know. I just love this stuff, and I didn't see anybody else bringing that up at the time, and it was like, wait a minute, don't you remember the time that Hillary gave Bill a shiner, and then they just had to lie about it? Oh, he's got the sniffles. Pollen count is just out of control this spring. Why does his eye look all bruised and purple, and he can't open it? Oh, serious allergic reaction.
I can't believe. Here's the deal. Since we're just going to wildly speculate.
Sure, why not? Everybody else does it. If the press could spend a week, blue checkmark Twitter, where's Melania?
Now, did Hillary punch Bill in the face because he cheated on her? Or did Hillary punch Bill in the face because he is jeopardizing his political career and embarrassed her?
I'm going to go with B. Oh, he jeopardized her political career.
Yeah. You're going to screw this up for the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's the most fire and energy that probably came out of her in 15 years. There was actually passion.
Well, you got to wonder, too, about after this week and his little press tour, if he's had an allergy issue again.
Oh, I don't know. Do you think they even live in the same house?
That's a tough call.
I mean, you would think at this point, he's what? How old is Bill Clinton? 72?
500
73?
years old.
Well, he looks like he has about 3, maybe 4 pints of blood in his entire body.
He'll be 72 in August.
You don't think he's still got the libido, do you?
I don't even want to think about it.
Oh, come on. Let's think about this first. If you don't think he's still,
Yes, I do.
to-
If he can, he will.
trying to bang the Stormy Daniels types.
Yeah.
Well, that gives us all hope, men out there, that, even in your 70s, there's a possibility that you'd still want to, have sex. But the question I had for you is, okay, he if he feels that way and he's still doing what he did, they can't live in the same house. Can they?
Know. I don't know. I don't know why she didn't leave him years and years ago.
Well, you know why. Well, but at some point, don't you think, you would think that she had stuck with him long enough that she could still have a political career, but the sympathy wears off in a hurry.
Yeah.
So.
But after, she got her ass handed to her in 2016, you think maybe that would be the time to say, you know what, I got to get away from this guy.
2008.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh, she had to be a good little soldier, though, and suck it up and go be Secretary of State.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you bring him up, so he's on this tour. He's releasing a book? Is that what this is?
Well, he's co-written a book with James Patterson. And I don't know if you're familiar with Patterson.
No, I'm not.
He cranks out, I don't know, 2 books a year.
Mm-hmm.
New York Times bestseller. He's written tons of books. I've read a bunch of them, and they've turned a couple of them into movies. A lot of them have nursery rhyme related titles.
Mm-hmm.
Like Along Came a Spider, which they turned into a movie. And this is confounding to me. Why James Patterson? Why are you risking your reputation to allow Bill Clinton to stick his name on a book of yours? Mm-hmm. It's not like he needs help selling books.
Right.
And it's just gross to me that, now he gets attacked on the Today Show. So Patterson's doing all these media appearances to sell this book, sitting beside Clinton. And in all of them that I've seen, it's just Bill talking. And there's poor little James Patterson sitting there. But, this all blew up when the guy on the, the Today Show
mm-hmm.
kind of pushed him a bit about the Me Too movement and all this. And it's like, how did these guys not see this coming? How did Patterson's, his people, his agent or whoever protects his image say, you might not want to write a book with Bill Clinton.
But who knows? They may have
come.
They may have come to this agreement 2-3 years ago that they were going to do this.
Yeah,
but
that's what lawyers are for.
Get out! Get out!
I don't know. Like I'm saying, Patterson cranks out books. I think he might have more books than Stephen King.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So this Craig Melvin totally rains on their parade over at the Today Show. It all turns into, let's talk about Me Too. And Bill did not do so well under the questioning. And did you watch the clip with him and Melvin?
I half-ass watched it.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, he did.
I'm so tired of him.
I know.
And he has a way of being able to weasel out of everything. Just bite that lower lip, and
He did the biting the lip thing. He did. That's why I was asking if you had seen it, because I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, there's that whole, I'm going to bite the lip as if I'm stifling tears. And it's so rehearsed and just gross. But he got super defensive. His body language was very interesting. His arms crossed across his chest and getting all hype. You know, I'm shocked that he didn't. I know he wanted to say, like, how dare you ask me about this stuff? This is wildly inappropriate. We're here to talk about my great book.
Oh, can you imagine if Ted Kennedy were still alive?
Ugh. No. I don't know what they would be doing to him. But that's the thing. It's like the media is still allowing him airtime.
Right.
Which is confounding. You know, I thought they were all behind this Me Too movement, and yet we're going to have one of the highest profile serial sexual predators on our show to help him sell books.
Well, how did your favorite cartoon show handle it?
Oh, they were quite appalled.
Remind everyone what your favorite cartoon show is.
My favorite cartoon show airs daily from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on MSNBC, and it's known as Morning Joe. And I don't remember which day this story broke, but I was in rapt attention watching Miss Mika Brzezinski respond to this.
I believe we have some audio. Now, do me a favor, because these are two clips that are from one video. I'm going to play the clips, and then at some point when you want to stop the audio, just pull a Rush Limbaugh and yell, "Stop the tape."
Okay.
Okay. Here's the first clip.
And this is just, they've shown this Today Show interview in, you know, the 5-minute clip or whatever, and this is the whole panel reacting to it.
The Clintons.
It has been for decades an unbelievable double standard that the Clintons have used and abused, where nobody is allowed to go there on this issue. And in the age of Me Too, women are supposed to go there. And men, by the way. We're supposed to be able to say what the difference is between right and wrong. And when you have done something wrong, you are supposed to own it and not talk about facts, distorted facts, and obstructed facts. My God, he sounded like Trump. He sounded incapable of owning anything. To me,
No.
I've never been more moved by an interview, and I really appreciate that Craig Melvin asked the questions and put that entire interview to a stop and stayed with it. Finally.
And Steve Schmidt, you were talking about how what you heard over and over again from Trump supporters throughout the campaign.
What about Bill Clinton?
What about?
So what you saw there,
All right, we can
I
stop
think,
it
is
there.
the end of Bill Clinton.
Yeah, it's the end of Bill Clinton. Is what that's what's his name? Steve Schmidt. That helped John McCain lose. And now is an MSNBC contributor.
What cracks me up? First of all, she was very serious, and she wasn't looking at her co-hosts on the panel. She was looking directly into the camera to make her point.
Right, and her point was kind of half-assed, but
She sounded just like he sounded just like Donald Trump.
of course, it can't just be that he's a contemptible human being that shouldn't be given airtime or accolades or anything, or helped to make more money than he already has. No, it's, oh my God, in this era of Me Too, everybody needs to be questioning everybody, and it's about damn time. She got a little bit worked up, and I honestly think this is the second time during this show. I was trying to find, there was another clip where she was way more upset, so this is like the second time around, toned down a little bit, but she's visibly shaking.
Joe Scarborough doesn't know what to do during this whole rant. His eyes are kind of crossed. Doesn't know where to look. He doesn't know whether he should be looking at her, the camera, other people. So he's just kind of looking down at his Morning Joe mug. Mm-hmm. Doesn't know what to do.
I've started to pick up on the fact that when she goes off on a rant, it makes everybody nervous because they have no idea what kind of dumb stuff is going to come out of her mouth. And you could, I'm sure that Joe really loves her. They've been engaged for what, a year, 2 years?
I don't know.
Yet to be married, but it's like, ooh, uh-oh.
Don't shit on their young love, Tracy L. Connors.
I know.
Young love is a beautiful thing. It makes me misty. It's why Train writes songs.
Thank God for love. Just for the Train songs. But yeah, do you want to play the second piece of that?
Yeah, this is where she puts a little bow.
Yes, right before we throw it to a commercial.
Right.
Talk about the conduct of Donald Trump. Anything that's wrong says, like that. What about Bill Clinton?
Listen, Steve.
This is the tragedy.
He said, what about to past presidents? And yes, what about them? But you know what? We're at a moment in history where this is no longer okay. We're not doing this anymore. And it's too bad that the former president didn't own it. And as for Democrats, Democrats don't need him. They don't need Hillary. We don't need them. Still ahead on Morning Show.
Wow.
I know. She's trying to throw signals to the Democrat Party as if they're going to listen to her. She's right, though. They really don't need them, which begs the question. So after the day after that interview airs on the Today Show, Clinton and Patterson are off on Colbert, and Colbert asks Bill Clinton, would you like a do-over? You're like, why are we giving this guy more chances?
Right.
Why is there such a push to rehabilitate his image? Do the Democrats really need him on the campaign trail this fall? Is that how pathetic their party is at the moment?
Yes.
It's stunning.
I don't know if they're hoping that at some point Chelsea will walk out and get on the national stage and run, and maybe she'll be the first woman president, Tracy L. Connors.
Yeah. I don't think so.
But it's like they were searching for the new Kennedys.
Yes.
And they were hoping the Clintons were going to be the new Kennedys.
They're always doing that. Well, then the Obamas came in and they became the new Kennedys.
Right.
Because they were young and attractive and they had young children, and it's Camelot all over again.
I mean, you're right about that. I used to think it was so pathetic. You'd go back to the 80s and Gary Hart was going to be the next Kennedy. They're always looking for the next Kennedy. And after a while, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been 30 years. You're still looking for the next Kennedy. It sounds pathetic. It kind of like Republicans looking for their next Reagan.
Yeah.
I loved Ronald Reagan. At some point, you got to let it go. Say, okay, he was one of a kind. Hope someone else comes along that was as good or is as good. But when you say, oh, we're looking for our next Reagan, well, okay. Reagan left office in 89, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, good luck. No, it was not 89. It was 87. Right?
No, 89.
Oh, 88. Oh, right. Sorry, math, girl brain.
But it just sounds pathetic. So, well, at least now Democrats will be looking for their next Obama. At least they've turned the page on the whole Kennedy thing. And certainly, apparently, according to Mika, we've turned the page on the Clintons.
Yeah, and I'm disappointed that I couldn't find the other clip of her talking about this because she goes off on a rant similar to the one that we just heard. But at the end of it, she's like, and join us tomorrow and Tom Brokaw will be on the panel. Like, Mika, do you not understand that he's in hot water too?
Oh, that's different, though.
Of course. He's a colleague. It's Tom Brokaw.
Right.
And I mean, those are unproved accusations, but still, she's going to be all, I am woman, hear me roar with everybody else.
Oh, I'm sure she was I am woman, hear me roar about Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, of course.
But Tom gets a pass.
Yes.
I shouldn't say pass. That could be interpreted wrong. Well, I find it funny. One of the promotional photos for Morning Joe for years was Joe was it's like a black and white photo of Joe. He's sitting in a folding chair with his legs crossed, and Mika's on a piano or a table or something in a short skirt with her leg up in the air. You remember seeing that photo? Have you ever seen that photo before?
I don't know if I have. It sounds absurd. What does a piano have to do with anything?
I don't know if it was a piano or maybe on a desk. I don't know. I
would guess a desk.
Yeah. I was like, well, I'm looking at that going, wow.
Yeah.
Will
No,
that
I'm
fly
stunned
today?
that show's on air.
And it's so influential.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. Okay, a lot of the New York Times and the Washington Post kind of set the narrative for the mainstream media on a story. I get that, but at least you can point to, okay, it's the New York freaking Times.
Yes.
I mean, there at one point when people were reading newspapers, it was, the circulation for the New York Times was incredible.
Mm-hmm. It has a decent reputation for
that true, but where I'm going with this is I don't know of too many people outside the Beltway, outside of the New York, DC media bubble, who get up in the morning and say to themselves, "Oh man, I got to get up and watch Morning Joe."
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen there today? I mean, you do it for comedic value,
reason. Yeah.
but it's not like people are waking up in Omaha, Nebraska, and tuning in Morning Joe. It simply amazes me how influential this show seems to be, and it's all based on the New York, Washington, D.C. mainstream media bubble. People are like, "Oh, Morning Joe. They have an intelligent conversation about politics over there."
But to your point about the Washington Post and the New York Times setting the narrative, they normally have at least one representative from each of those papers on the panel every day.
Mm-hmm. See, and they get up in the morning, and the rest of the media gets up in the morning, the people in the media, and they watch shows like Morning Joe. They want to know what people are talking about. Well, the people in the country are different than the people on Morning Joe.
Yes. Maybe someday they'll realize that, but I hope it doesn't come anytime soon.
Doubt it. People in the morning in the Midwest, when they want to know what's going on, you know where they go to? They go to
Where?
Enough Already. That's where they go.
Of course.
Okay, so are we done with the Morning Joe people?
Yes, we can be finished with them.
Okay, I'm going to close the windows. I'm a little paranoid. I have a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time doing the show on the new MacBook Air.
Yes.
Are you a Mac snob? Does everything have to be Mac? Apple?
Does that mean I'm a snob?
Well,
If I say yes?
there are two kinds of people. There are the kinds of people, the first kind that just likes Apple.
Uh-huh.
And then the other people that are like the CrossFit people and to a lesser extent the keto people. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I know. Yes, I have all Apple stuff.
It'll solve the world's problems. Doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
You've got the gout. You should get a MacBook.
Yeah. No, but I'm not in the cult of Mac where I'm like, oh my God, there's a new one coming out this year. I have to have it.
Okay.
I do like their products, though.
Do you think they slipped a little since Steve Jobs died?
I don't know. I could do without Tim Cook, I'll tell you that, but otherwise, I don't know. I mean, the phones, it's like, what else could you do with the phone to make it any better than it already is?
Right.
What new tech could be added to a phone that would make me be like, oh, I have to have the new one the second it comes out?
And the only way that they can really make it to where you want a new one is it's kind of the stuff that they've accused Apple of, is making the battery shit the bed.
Yeah.
Prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to run out and buy a new one. But I've got a buddy at work that I believe he sells an iPhone 4 that works. Wow. And he's using it, and he tethers off the iPhone 4, plugs it into his computer, and uses it for a hotspot.
That's pretty impressive.
It still works. When did the iPhone 4 come out? We're up to 10 now.
Yeah, but they skipped 9.
That's true.
And I don't know that we're allowed to call it the 10. It might be the X.
Oh.
It's all very confusing.
Yeah. Pardon me. See, I'm not of the Apple cult, even though all of my stuff is
right.
Apple.
According to Wikipedia, the iPhone 4 came out in 2010.
Holy shit. Can you imagine?
Yeah. No.
The funny thing is, when you get a new phone, like I last year, right after Christmas, I got the iPhone 7 Plus. I was the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X were out, but those are glass body phones, and that makes me nervous.
Oh,
Because I spend much of my day on a concrete floor, and I imagine myself dropping the phone and having the whole back shaft. It's bad if you have to worry about the screen on the front of the phone,
right.
But then the back you've got to worry about the glass breaking. So I was like, I want something with a sturdier body. And
Well,
can
I tell you something, Fingers?
What's that?
They make these things called cases.
I know, but you still break it. I've got an OtterBox on this bad boy, this iPhone 7. But the funny thing is, I got the iPhone 7 and it felt huge at the time. And now it seems small.
Oh.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm going blind.
Oh.
So, what else you want to talk about?
Let me see. We've got the IG report coming out this week.
Finally.
I know. Well, they have to take comments from everybody. Right? And if you remember the little preview we had a couple months ago when our buddy Andrew Ilac-Kander McCabe, that IG report came out, and we went through that thoroughly, including all of the responses by his attorneys, which is part of this whole process. So if you can imagine how many people had to respond to this, and by people I mean their attorneys, obviously, and then they have to incorporate all of that. So I've seen estimates this is going to be somewhere between 400 and 500 pages.
Wow.
Yeah. So that'll be fun because we all know that the media will read a handful of it.
I hope they print it out in a book like the Warren Report. You like go to the bookstore and
that'd be great, and then I can go try to get it autographed by everybody whose dirty deeds are revealed in this. And this is just
walk up to a big fan. Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, I don't know if Comey's selling his book tour or not, but that would be worth the price of admission to go and be like, hey, former director Comey, would you mind signing off on this? I do have a copy of the Warren Report that my father got for me, signed by Arlen Specter.
Oh, wow.
Told him I didn't believe his stupid single bullet theory and asked him to sign it for me.
He still signed it?
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
what was his reaction?
I don't know. I don't remember. This was like 10 years ago. But I think that the signature, and I got to find it because I don't know where I even put it. But I think he, in the inscription, wrote something about, Tracy, you should really believe me. It's like, yeah, no. Sorry, Arlen. Not a huge fan. But yeah,
May he rest in peace.
Right. Yeah, we miss him dearly in the state of Pennsylvania. Oh, man. Can you imagine if he was in the Senate now?
Oh.
Awful. Just awful. But so I'm looking forward to this. And Chuck Grassley already has a committee hearing set up to review all of this. And he's invited Andy Ilac-Kander McCabe to come and share his little story. And McCabe is asking to, in exchange for coming and talking to this committee, to be granted immunity.
Wow. Yeah.
Why
would he need that?
I know. The press has told us that you don't ask for that unless you've done something wrong. And honestly, he's got to be pissed that he has to ask for this, considering that you had the whole let's destroy everything with hammers Clinton team. And they were all granted immunity, as far as we know.
Right.
It never came of them. Nah.
By the way, that's how I got rid of my iPhone 6. Sure. I didn't trade it in.
No. You didn't go to Best Buy and do their electronic recycling.
No. You think you would care about the environment when it comes to disposing of your old smartphones. I mean, I get that they can't send it in, put it in one of those mall kiosks.
Yeah.
I get that. But that's the first time I've ever heard of phones being smashed with a hammer.
But it might have been smarter for them to put it in that mall kiosk. They just were like, I don't know what happened to them. We took them to the recycling center like you're supposed to. We're good stewards of the environment,
Right.
Oh, man.
I got $30 for my old phone. Oh. Yeah, he's got to be pissed. All the shenanigans that went on and people walked away scot-free.
but he knows. I mean, there's been a criminal referral now at this point for him. Mm-hmm. And so this is I guess you might as well ask. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
So nice try, but it's kind of, what do you get to tell us, Andy? So there's some excellent letters that you can find. I think they're on Grassley's site of McCabe's lawyers asking for this and Grassley smacking them down, and it goes back and forth and back and forth.
Well, the great thing about having a lawyer is, you can say when testifying, oh, well, my lawyer did that. I don't need to have immunity. And then I ask you a question. I'll take the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, I mean, that's his choice.
Yeah.
You can come in there and say, I take the Fifth. It's like, okay, great. We'll resolve this in a criminal court.
That's the thing. Will that ever happen?
I don't know. I'm hopeful that it will.
Swampy, swampy, swampy.
I know.
So that comes out Thursday.
Yes.
So we'll have a lot to talk about next weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Will you think you'll have all 500 pages read by the show next week?
Oh, sure.
I could see you sitting back with, kicking back with a bottle of wine, feet up.
No, you gotta stay sober to read something like that.
Oh.
Utmost
Do you?
focus.
I would need to be drunk to get through all 500 pages.
No, I'm sure I'll read a large portion of it, I would imagine, before Sunday. But, I follow a bunch of people that I think are excellent at breaking this stuff down on Twitter, and I'm sure they'll be going through it too. So the internet will deliver on this one, unlike most news networks. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to run with.
Right.
My guess is they'll pick up on petty little things. Like maybe they'll just focus on if there's any more about McCabe, him, or, they've got to run interference as best as possible for people like Clapper and Brennan. But this is just about what the FBI was doing as far as investigating the Clintons. So I don't know that Brennan will have any involvement in this. Clapper may or may not, but it's mostly centered on the FBI. So Jim Comey could be on I don't know. I don't want to say suicide watch after what happened this past week with that.
Well, I just hope that it's a candid report and that there are consequences, based on what the findings are, because people have lost faith in the FBI.
For good reason.
Right. And they think that it's a political hack fest over there. And
for good reason.
Yeah, so when people think that the FBI and the DOJ are ridiculously partisan, that's a bad image to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that leads to some house cleaning over there.
A lot of these people have already left.
Yeah, but those people are also in charge of hiring the people that are there now.
It's true.
So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm so pessimistic about all this shit that I find it hard to believe. It just, stuff like this happens, and I believe that 99 times out of 100, all it is used for is for fundraising.
Yeah. That's true.
Can you believe the FBI is under attack by those evil Republicans? We need to donate now to said Democrat running for whatever office and vice versa. Can you believe all the misconduct that was revealed by the IG report? We need to clean up the FBI, so you need to send money to some Republican running somewhere. Money, 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 money.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And then nothing happens. Swampity, swampity, swamp, swamp, swamp.
Well, I don't know. Maybe next year we'll see if what happens with this blue wave that has now become a ripple.
Right.
And I was thinking about this week. Say that the Democrats don't take over either house, and the Republicans maintain their majorities. What do you think the left is going to do?
Oh. It's hard to say.
I mean, can they get more batshit than they already are?
I think, of course they can. It's always possible. There's also the possibility for, I'm not talking about the ridiculously batshit crazy celebrities and activists out there. But normal, I don't want to use the word normal. Your everyday leftist that just is in America watching this stuff, there maybe some apathy will set in.
Yeah.
That won't happen with the
The resistance.
Yeah. I mean, will the resistance shrink because of apathy? Will it get smaller? I think so. But the people who are considered the leaders of the resistance, they'll get batshit crazier. I'm really looking forward to some of the nut jobs that they're going to want to run for president in 2020.
Yeah, it's hard to see who that is at this point.
Well,
And
Elizabeth
you got to
Warren,
think it's going to start in full force after the midterms.
will Bernie run again?
I think so.
You know, he wants to, but Christ, how old is he?
He needs another lake house fingers. I don't know why this is even a question.
I just went on and on about follow the money, and I'm not even thinking about you're right. Bernie could use another lake house. So
Yeah, I don't know why that totally was missed to you. Like, come on, the man needs a new lake house.
Lake House Socialist Bernie Sanders is. I'm looking at my Google machine right now. Bernie Sanders today is 76 years old. He'll be 77 in September.
Wow.
So he'll be close to kissing 80.
He's got a lot of energy.
That's true. But let's face it, politician 80 is really normal person 65.
Yeah.
So it's possible. So Bernie will probably run. Elizabeth Warren will probably run. The dude from Starbucks who just stepped down. What's his name? He'll probably run because, you know, just like anything else, they have to imitate success.
Yeah, they need their own billionaire.
Right. We need our businessman to run, which sounds great in theory, but the people that have been in the party, like, well, I can't say Bernie because Bernie's not a Democrat.
That's the funniest thing. I mean, I saw recently the guy that ran his campaign talking about all of that and saying, you know, they're laying in the groundwork for 2020 run with Sanders and the Democrat Party. Like, he's been huddling with the DNC, and I'm like, he's not a Democrat.
Right.
Why is that never brought up? The second that he dropped out of the race, he changed his affiliation back to independent.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And after what the Democrat Party did to him in 2016, you'd think he wouldn't go anywhere near them. But no, that's why it's all about a lake house. It is. Come on. This is so transparent. He knows he's not going to win. He just wants to get the ideas out there.
For
Medicaid for all, Medicare for all.
What was the report that just came out last week? Medicare is going to go bankrupt in 2026. Is that what?
Yeah.
We need to expand it.
I think it's 2024.
2024. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's make it bigger.
Yeah. If everybody was in it, this would never happen. That's the only way to solve this problem.
Wow. If you Google Bernie Sanders, his site comes up, and it's right above BernieSanders.com. It says, "Still fighting for you."
Of course he is.
Friends of Bernie Sanders.
Donate here, right?
Yeah. Still fighting for me. I'm not a beach house. I'm confused. It's a lake house. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. We always want to call it a beach house.
Well, that's because we were going to, for our scam pack,
Yes.
we wanted a beach house.
It's true.
The enough already beach house.
We're just honest with everybody. We just want you to give us money so that we can buy things for ourselves.
Right. Like
We're not into giant social change or making sure that we have universal health care.
My favorite, when one of these packs comes out and they're drafting someone who's never going to run for office. Mm-hmm. They're trying to draft. Listen, Laura Ingraham needs to
Yes.
run for the United States Senate in Virginia. So send us some money so we can draft Laura Ingraham. Okay. You know what, Tracy? Don Knotts needs to run for president.
Is he still alive?
No, but don't let the facts get in the way of this argument. We need money sent to the Enough Already scam pack so we can draft Don Knotts to run for president of the United States.
Oh, kids, Google Don Knotts.
We'll put a plaque. We'll put a big picture of Don Knotts in one of the rooms in the beach house.
Sure.
We did our best. Oh man, it makes me sad that kids out there under the age of 50 have no idea who Don Knotts is.
Aw, he was wonderful.
The Apple Dumpling Gang. You ever see any of those movies?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, good lord. He was a comic genius, and then of course he was Mr. Roper. Jesus, Mr. Furley on Three's Company.
And before that, he was on the Andy Griffith Show, right?
Yep. That's going way, 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 way back.
Yeah.
I hesitate to even mention Matlock when it comes to Andy Griffith.
I think that still airs, though, at least.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we've been talking for an hour, Tracy.
Oh, wow.
Time flies when you're talking about lake houses.
I know, it sure does. But there was one story that's kind of feel good that I wanted to talk about just very briefly.
Okay.
About it's the summer, which means kids are going to have lemonade stands.
Mm-hmm.
And which means that kids are going to get fines for having lemonade stands.
Right.
So Reason has an article this week. Country Time Lemonade has tweeted out the kids across the country are getting busted for operating lemonade stands without a permit. And we're taking the lead to hashtag save lemonade stands by paying for the kids' fines and permits this year. So they said for every retweet that this tweet gets, we'll donate $1 up to $500,000 to help kids next year and beyond. So good for them.
It's brilliant marketing.
It is, because now all those kids are going to buy Country Time lemonade.
Right.
Why not? If your kid was going to go set up a lemonade stand, wouldn't you be like, "Hey, buy Country Time"?
Yes.
In case the coppers come for you.
Amazing. The slow death of common sense in this country. The idea that a cop would go up to a lemonade stand and ask a 6-year-old kid if he or she has a permit to run this lemonade stand. What's even worse is you see these stories every year that a lemonade stand gets shut down. And when you read the story, I swear 9 times out of 10 it's because a neighbor complained about it.
Yep.
How can you complain about some kid's lemonade stand? Does it really bother you that much? Is it really that much of an inconvenience? It's not like it's stopping traffic for blocks.
Right.
Little Timmy's lemonade stand. Oh my gosh.
It's an eyesore.
Yeah, cars were backed up for miles. I couldn't get around it. Everybody wanted his lukewarm, shitty lemonade. God, there's always one pissy neighbor that has to ruin everything. And then the cops show up. Anytime we can have more interaction with the police is a good thing, right, Tracy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Serve and protect.
Good God. So now you're going to terrify the crap out of this little kid because a cop. And at first, kids are so innocent. Mm-hmm. They'll see a cop car stop and probably think, "Oh, isn't that nice? This police officer wants to buy some lemonade from me." Mm-hmm. And then 2 minutes later, the cop is shutting the whole operation down.
Yep.
Now, in their defense, I'm sure 99 out of 100 cops feel ridiculous having to go to the lemonade stand to shut it down.
Right, but the thing is, they have discretion. They could tell the annoying neighbor that has a bug up their butt about little Timmy's stand to shove it.
Yeah, but you would think
we're not going to do anything about this.
Yeah, but usually you know how that goes. It's probably not the cop on the beat that's going to be directing traffic when it comes to that. Probably his superior, her superior. Okay, go over there. They don't have a permit. Shut it down. I find it hard to believe most police officers are good people.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you're not feeling good about yourself at that point as a police officer if you're pulling over to the side of the road to shut down a lemonade stand. That just sounds like bureaucratic bullshit that they're being ordered from above to go shut that thing down. Don't you think?
I guess so. I mean, I guess it depends on who the neighbor is that calls.
That's true.
If it's someone with some clowny clout, then perhaps.
Bernie Sanders seems the type that would shut a lemonade stand down. I don't know. Seems the type.
Well, maybe, but it would be like, oh, well, we're not collecting taxes on this, and who knows if the health department has been here.
Right?
Yeah.
That
Does
kid's
the FDA
hands.
approve this?
I just saw that kid stir this lemonade with his hands.
Yep. He appears to have a cold.
Oh, wow. Well, good on country time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else?
Nah, that's it.
You can find the Enough Already podcast on Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, YouTube, and what's the other one? BitChute?
BitChute. Yeah.
BitChute. I was going to say BitStrip.
No,
Remember the BitStrips?
I don't.
You could make a little cartoon of yourself on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Those were cool for like a week.
Yeah. BitChute. It's fun to say.
It is fun to say.
Final thoughts?
Now, I got to find a whole ream of paper to get ready for this IG report. I'll be going to Staples this afternoon.
You going to print your own copy?
Yeah, how else am I going to read it?
Read it on your tablet.
I like better at having a hard copy.
You're going to print out all 400 pages of it?
Sure.
Wow.
Otherwise, it's much easier to take notes on it that way.
Oh, that's true.
And I'll totally geek out and have, use the little tabs. Maybe I'll put it in a 3-ring binder.
Wow.
Yeah, I go way nerdy on this kind of stuff.
Oh. Well, thank God you're here to read it so I don't have to.
I know. I'll tell you all about it next Sunday.
All right. Well, we'll be back next Sunday with that on an all-new Enough Already podcast.